So what does that mean? So freedom seeking beings means that we like I'm an optimist, but I believe that we can have unconditional happiness, unconditional joy. I do not come from that belief system that maybe like our parents were from, that life is hard, that that it's just the only two sure things are, what do they say, taxes and death, like all of these sayings, right, from the generations past, like have kind of there's lots of limiting beliefs and limitations in who we can be as people, right? And think about I mean, we're just free to create whatever experience we desire, but think about how many people settle. They settle for less. They settle for making less money than what they can make. They settle in relationships that they know aren't they should be in, or they settle for friends that are not friends that are helping evolve and grow them, or think of all the things, right? But we're conditioned, those are the limiting beliefs. We're conditioned to believe some of those things that aren't true for us, and they create a ceiling for our happiness. So enlightenment, or what I like to say is alignment, is to fully awaken to the truth that we create our reality, that our thoughts and emotions, our concepts and our thoughts and emotions and actions are what actually create our reality. Therefore, we can create any reality we desire because it comes from the internal. It has nothing to do with the external, but that's not how we are conditioned to think and believe. That's where that whole 4D, you might see, it's kind of trendy. You'll see people say 3D and 4D. That we're getting out of the 3D and the 4D into the 5D, right? That's what they're talking about there. They're talking about the old way of thinking, like our parents' parents, the way we grew up in our school system, is that everything external is what's going to create us, make us, break us, that it's external things that are going to make us happy, that are going to feed our soul, that are going to, whatever, right? To make us happy, essentially. So that's how everybody grew up, that life is hard, you have to fight for things, that you have to push against all of these things, right? And it's not easy. But the 5D is the recognition that it's the full recognition that when the internal world changes, that the external world starts to reflect that change. So it's the idea, you've probably seen some little memes where it's like that projection, you're projecting out rather than the world projecting in on you. So the human experience, we are eternal, infinite, spiritual beings having a human experience here on earth. So to break that down, I think we all can agree that we have a little soul, right? Like I can get super mystical. I love thinking about things like what's beyond here, and people get weirded out by that, especially if they're from like certain dogmas, like religions, like very set religions, like Catholicism, or other forms of Christianity, or just whatever. So all of the stuff that we're talking about supports all of that, because and people like to argue that it doesn't in some way, right? But all of this supports that, because in all religions you can agree that there's a spirit part of you. So there's the Haley, there's the physical body of Haley, right? There's you right there, there's your physical body, and here's your description. You have brown hair and you're, whatever. So that's Haley, but that's not who you really are. There's inside Haley, like there's a spirit. You know what I mean? Like there's your soul. There's a part of you that is eternal and doesn't die. And so religions have different philosophies on what happens after we die, and heaven and hell and all of that. I believe this stuff supports it, because people who are creating their personal hell here on earth. But you can create your personal heaven. And I believe that's what law of attraction, manifesting, alignment, spirituality, and understanding this 5D, understanding these components of how powerful our thoughts and emotions and actions, and knowing that we have a purpose, knowing that you are capable of anything you desire.